I think that's the perfect time to start going to the gems and takeaways of the book.
Yes. You want me to start?
Yes, please.
Okay. Because it's always ladies first, right? So
is your lady.
All right. So, I mean, the takeaway that I take from reading the book is there are valuable lessons in there.
Yeah.
In every chapter, from you learn about deceit, guilt, suicide, King's disease, you know, just wanting more and more. And what?
Nas album.
Oh, yeah. Yo, that album, I think it was album of the year, I think.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, King's disease. That's, just wanting more and more to the point where it become a disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about kings that will eat and eat and eat, and they just, deceit, guilt, suicide, adultery, jealousy, lust, you know, murderous intent, hate, and much more. It's a lot more. I mean, basically, some of the things that we battle against today, identity crisis, you know, wanting a, you know, a sense of belonging, and, you know, illegitimate children, and everything is in this book. Power struggles, power dynamics, power plays, you know, chess moves, and everything is in there. So, you know, it's definitely multi-dimensional.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think one thing that I picked up is he was definitely a man ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Because now, for the past few years, when we talk about health and well-being, there's a big theme of mindfulness.
Yeah.
And I think he had already tapped into that a very long time ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's this emphasis of having, you know, that healthy state of mind to be able to excel or flourish in life. So he always ties down again to it all starts in the mind. It all starts in the mind, you know, as regardless of whatever is happening around your surroundings, it all starts with self. And when you look at a lot of philosophies within, whether it's Eastern culture, Western, it's always about self first, and then, you know. So I found that quite interesting. And one of my favorite quotes from the book was, it reads, "A man who tries to live without their ancestors is like a tree struggling without roots. And a man who's ignored by his ancestors is a disgrace in the eyes of God."
That's deep.
That
Translated, you better know where you're coming from before you know, for you to know where you're going.
Period.
That's what's up. That's basically what it is. And it's a fact. It's a fact.
That's exactly.
My grandmother always used to say that. You better know where you're coming from, right? Don't forget where you're coming from.
It's so important. Fact. It is. And I think anyone who wants to read this book has to remember that the book is if you think, let me just have this for a good read or for entertainment purposes, this might not be the book.
Nah, most definitely.
This is, for me, it's a repository, and it's information being passed down. I cannot emphasize the significance and importance of this book for anyone who's trying to learn about African history, culture.
Get it for your kids, y'all.
So important.
Get it for your kids.
I wish this is one book that we would have done for, you know, whether it's a history lessons, or literature lessons.
Instead of just
what do you guys do? We did Oliver Twist.
We had Oliver Twist. We had I think I think it was Shakespeare, and he was like, I think Animal Farm and stuff like
Animal Farm. That, you guys were lucky because I had to read Animal Farm on my own. That was good. That's a good year.
You know,
but
I'm not gonna tell you what year I was educated, but you know.
I'd have loved this because this is just history and literature on steroids, and it's like our Area 51.
Oh yeah,
it's just great.
It's deep, and you know what it made me realize? Just like an afterthought, when I was just like, you know, after reflecting on what I read, it just made me realize that it's funny how, you know, there's budgets and a lot of things dedicated to try and remedy racism and hate and all of that. And, you know, wars, discrimination and stuff. And I just think, this is my own opinion, I think we can never get rid of these things. I think these things, it's just like saying right now, it's just saying there was jealousy in 1947 or 1908, but now that it's 97 or it's 2017 or it's 2021, jealousy is not there. These are human feelings that can be masked in whether it's institutions and the hospitals and the jobs everywhere. So they will, racism, I don't think we can ever get, we can make it better and we can reach an understanding, but it's always going to be there because there's always going to be people who hate others and who just don't like others. Because even when you look into this book, there was always descriptions of where this tribe did not like this tribe, and there was myths. There was myths that was spread. Sometimes not true, or there was one person who made it bad for generations to come, and it just carried on, and you're born into it, and you just don't know. All I know is I hate that certain group for no reason, and I think these things, I don't think they can ever go away.
No,
you know what I mean.
And again, like we're saying, it then begins with self. So how do we handle those situations? How do we fortify ourselves? And
to put a spanner in the works, right? Going back to when we were talking about how he talks about the yin and the yang, or how he talks about water and fire, how they exist in constant antagonism, and he says that's necessary. I read somewhere where they said like war is a necessary evil, where it's like as much as we don't like it, it gives birth to a lot of changes and the metamorphosis of things that go on. So sometimes it's like, these things, as much as we don't like them, they're there for a reason.
Chaos brings order. Damn.
All right now.
And I have to say this. 696 pages. It's a big book.
It's a big book. That's why we took 2 weeks, because we wasn't just gonna come in half. I'm not gonna cut. Now we needed to give y'all the business.
It's a big book, and I think also it's important to let future readers know that you have to pace yourself. It can be mentally and emotionally taxing at times, so you have to sort of prepare yourself, because some of the incidences are quite intense, and there is a lot of like violence. He ain't holding back. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't hold back at all. There's violence and, there's cruelty, like you mentioned, showcased in the book. So you have to, it's not a whimsical book to read as much as it's filled with, a lot of mythicism, and the child mythology. There's also that rawness to it. So yeah, it is a great balance for me, but I would say you need to pace yourself.
So here's my question.
Hit me.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, my bad. Before that, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to say something fancy. So I would say, well, it's not fancy, but on a positive note, right? Yeah. What the book does, it affirms the greatness. It affirms, that African greatness, our resourcefulness. It affirms the wisdom, our resilience.
Without a doubt.
And what it does, because he was determined to deconstruct any misrepresentation of African history that's written by non-African historians.
Most definitely, he did a good job, and the brother is educated from even when you started. You get a hint of astronomy in there. We threw a little bit of chemistry in there because he does touch on that. He really, sociology in there and everything. So he a beautiful job.
And he only started going to school when he was 14.
Wow.
And I think if we can never brand him on the confines of Western education, because what's in this book is so prolific that it goes beyond. It's just genius. That's why I was saying I was likening him to like Nikola Tesla, because you cannot learn these things.
I agree.
In class.
I agree.
That's where the spiritual gifts come in, and then being able to tie that down. So yeah, just an amazing writer, an amazing person. And I also wanted to just talk about, before we go into the rating, my favorite character, who is Ninavano, who, like we said, is the depiction of, the goddess of creation, and is known in the Zulu, by the Zulu people as Nom Mkubwane. And what Mkulu Credo does is he constantly reiterates this narration of women being, the life givers, and then what he does is he always constantly speaks against abuse of women. So I particularly really like that. And I think that was someone that was able to balance the energies within.
Right.
despite all the trauma that he personally went through. And I just think the book itself is a repository, and Mukulu Credo was just a national treasure. And I think the unfortunate part is sometimes it takes someone transitioning or passing on for people to start appreciating them more. But I think what's going to happen is as the years go, people are going to start appreciating his works.
I'll call it a Biggie and Tupac effect.
Exactly. Exactly, because he just gave us such a holistic introduction to Africa. He just
That's what's up.
Such a great person. And it's so sad though that when he did pass on,
he had nothing.
It was so painful.
So happens.
It was so painful because a lot of the royalties weren't his, they had been taken away from him. And I found it so ironic that, you're trying to empower people, your people, and on the other hand,
no ownership. Ownership is something that we cannot bang on each other enough, man. This is why even when we cover a lot of books, the other book that we covered about ownership and the business side of things, people like this guy here should be cherished. This book should be like, it belonged to us. This information belongs. It's sacred information that we should have ownership of that. And people like him should be taken care of by the community because, they are very cherished and they bring forth strength and growth to, imagine as a young man coming up. And you touch on characters. My favorite character is Odu, I think. And I think that's his name. Yeah. Because as a man, I think we've lost our, what can I say? Our strength and sacrifice for the people and for the families and for what we believe in. He was prepared to die for that. And I think he threw himself in a volcano at the I think it's at the Kilimanjaro mountain. He just threw himself there. He couldn't take. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like what's that? It's a Black Panther. When that character with the dreadlocks, when he was, I'd rather, them be in bondage with that famous line, right? It's phenomenal book, y'all. Phenomenal. That's basically what we're trying to say. We could have just came on here and say, this is the review for this book. Phenomenal. Go buy it. Anyway.
So we're going to go to the ratings.
Yeah.
Okay. I think from a personal level, this book helped me because I would call myself, when I read it, I was in the closet, in the spiritual closet.
Okay.
So this book helped me come out. No, but in all seriousness, it helped propel me on that spiritual journey that I'm still very much on. Yeah. But it gave me that confidence. One, I think, to know that, okay, I'm not alone. There's a lot of people that think like this. There's a lot of people that know these things. And, certain gifts are just not happening to just one person. And again, just that sense of pride and like, okay, I come from people, Yeah. So it really helped me. And again, like I said, from a young age, I was into things like cosmology, astronomy, metaphysics, and all those things. But I would have to dig into the Western cultures to be able to get in Eastern cultures. And then this allowed me to go back to the source of origin, which is Africa.
Basically that umbilical cord. I gotta get deep. When you get deep for no reason, it is the umbilical cord of the Genesis. Now I'm playing
the Genesis. I have to say the Beningan. Don't do that. Okay.
Yeah, but I get it. I get it. I mean, yeah.
So 12 out of 10 on the personal level. I'm looking at the book and the writing style and everything. It's a 696 pages for me. Like. But again, like I said, and this is me being just nitpicking, really, really nitpicking. Like I said, because one, the book was translated from isiZulu to English, and then also, like I said, decoding or deciphering that intel from the spiritual realms to the physical. Some things will be lost in translation, and you can see sometimes the things are intertwined because there won't be that certain accuracy of so just on that, just nitpicking, I'll give it 8 out of 10. But for me, this one stays underneath here. Like, this is my pride, possession. So, but I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Me, hey man, me, I'm a bit harder to please, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a whopping 10 out of 10.
Wait.
10.
You?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
High five to that.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, y'all, because I cannot emphasize the amount of information that I now know.
Yeah.
As far as the tribes, as far as my tribe came from, me as a person.
Yeah.
And everything. The writing style, like, I couldn't fault it. It was just a learning experience for me, and I feel honored getting the opportunity to review it for you guys so y'all can read it. But honestly, I mean, for me, I can't fault the book. Yeah. Even when there's a whole lot of pages there, but I feel like having lesser pages would have made it more complicated, but because he would have summarized a lot of things, and then it would have been lost in translation.
Yeah.
So it's this 10 out of 10 for me.
Definitely. I think there's nothing wrong with the book in terms of the volume. I think because we were just under a bit of pressure because we needed to deliver something in terms of time constraints.
Yeah.
But like you said, like when it's likened to the Bible, I would also say this. It's a book that you just don't read once. Because what happens, just like when you read the Bible, there's certain things that will be unveiled to you at particular, certain times. And even if you don't read the Bible, just there's certain books that, you'll only pick up certain things when the mind is ready, or I don't know how it works. But it's just like a treasure trove. It'll keep unveiling and unveiling and unveiling. So I would say it's a continuous read. So definitely would read it again and definitely recommend it.
I agree.
Okay. So the next book we're going to be reviewing is a book called The Gilded Ones. And that's a book written by Sierra Leone. Let's take that back again.
Sierra Leone.
And we don't edit anything, so.
Is that how you say it? Do you say Sierra Leonean, or do you say Sierra Leone, or somebody from Sierra Leone?
So the writer, she's from Sierra Leone.
And we'll say that. Let's be safe, y'all. Love our Sierra Leonean people. Shout out to y'all.
Are we gonna learn something today? Okay. So the next book feature will be a book called The Gilded Ones by a writer from Sierra Leone called Namina Forna. So I'm looking forward to reading that book. Yeah. The link will be below. So get the book. Let's read it and let's review together.
And if you guys have any recommendations, just dump them in the comment section. Y'all can give us an email, and all that good stuff. Subscribe. We do this for y'all. We're enjoying it, and I hope is this our 4th episode?
Yes, our 4th episode. And we got a new setting. We're trying something else.
Yo, we trying something new. We flexing right now. Y'all like the new look. If there's something you like, something you don't like, just drop it in the comment section, because we learning. It's a learning process. And of course, today's show is sponsored by Spell Clothing. Stay positive, enjoy life. I got the royal blue and royalty. We talking about Credo, so royalty, loyalty, and all that good stuff. Y'all follow them on Instagram as Spell Clothing. Snapbacks.
They got new
buckets, new stuff.
Hey, edition looking really good.
Man, stop it. Y'all just go over there and see it for yourself. Yeah.
And so now that leads us into the quote or verse of the week, and it's you this week, isn't it?
Yes, and it is by Credo Mutwa himself.
Okay.
And it goes something like this: nature is everything, and you are a part of nature. Ooh. Nature is everything, and you are a part of nature. So the two cannot be separated.
We are everything.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's really...
We are God. God exists in you. When you look at somebody, you're looking at God. Everything is nature, and we can't separate ourselves from that. And some of the issues that we have now is we trying to separate ourselves from nature, and we're isolating ourselves from that. Yeah.
That is so true. I still can't believe that. I legit got a little diamond after my whole chemical. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, we get deep with it. We ain't playing. We ain't playing. Any last words before we knock it out the park?
No, just thank you so much, and thank you for being patient with us throughout the episodes. It's been a learning curve for us.
The sound was a little bit janky to begin with. We know. Somebody was like, where do you record these episodes? Be ghosts in the background, whizzing and stuff.
Listen, we're on a budget.
But yeah,
no, it's much better, and hopefully, as time goes by, the quality production will get much better. But we definitely are dedicated to the cause. So,
and that's it.
No, so thank you, and until the next episode, I guess.
Yeah, catch you on the next one. All right, peace.
Bye.
Bye.